People, deluded, I'm back again. Now, this weekend's been decent. Arsenal never played in the Premier League, so we couldn't disappoint our fans by default. Hopefully this evening against Portsmouth, we don't embarrass ourselves and go out of 2 competitions within as many days. FA Cup might not be the objective at the start of the season, but you know, if you're an Arsenal United fan, you've got a serious history with the FA Cup. It would simply just be embarrassing to go out again. But in terms of Premier League fixtures, one of the best weekends ever, really and truly, just for banter purposes. Liverpool, listen, you've got to credit them. Listen, I'm not here to say they're better than the Invincibles, the Invincible better than them, the treble side's better than them, the Chelsea team that had 15 goals conceded and all them stats. I'm not here to say which is better, because they've all got subjective reasons. You look at the Invincibles, they simply didn't lose a game. And I love them, and I'm always going to be biased. But then you look at Jose's team, 15 goals conceded and all them other things. Liverpool ran away with the league this season. Do you see what I'm saying? The treble, it speaks for itself. They're all fantastic achievements, and I'm sure if you was to scrutinise them, you can put one against the other. But for me, they're all great on equal merit. You can say one's better than the other, that's all good and dandy. So Liverpool, obviously, congratulations for winning the title in all but name. But thank you for not becoming Invincibles, man, because it would have been the worst ever season. I mean, Liverpool, you really saved us, man. You didn't become Invincibles. You stopped Spurs, which would have been worse, really. I would take Liverpool being Invincibles over Spurs being Champions League winners, because could you imagine if Spurs last season had what's the thing again? You get the star. We would have nothing to chat to Spurs fans. But yeah, man, Liverpool, it is what it is. Shout out to Watford, our London Coley neighbours, doing our thing for us. And for me, we got to give Ismail Assar PFA Player of the Year. But on a serious note, I mean, Liverpool were expected to, they were going to lose some game. I stopped believing it, but it's I don't want to say it's impossible, because someone will do it, but it's hard. And really and truly, them sort of statistics there, it's just extra stuff. It would have been nice, I'm sure. Liverpool's first title in 30 years. That's the new agenda we're running, by the way, folks, people. They've only got 1 title in 30 years, Carl. We ain't got nothing else. But could you imagine if it was that and Invincible? It is what it is. The main thing is just the league title. And I'm sure, again, I ain't got it to hand, but I'm sure there's bare fancy stats that Liverpool team has achieved in terms of just through being consistent. So the league title is there. Obviously, with Spurs collapsing against Wolves, with Chelsea making it harder for themselves and walking away with a point against Bournemouth, United bottling it against Everton and De Gea's gaff, this blows the top 4 race wide open. And as an Arsenal fan, you're looking at it and thinking, if we do this and that. Now, I don't believe that, because if the boys do it, if Arsenal going to do that, then, you know, I'll hold my hands up. But do you see what I just said in that sentence? If, it's always ifs. If and but and all these things, and what Arsenal are going to do is 2 different things. We can talk about other teams dropping points, but we are going to drop points, because it sounds harsh, because we have some consistency. We was unbeaten in 2020, fairly decent, okay run prior to obviously going out of the Europa League of sorts. So you could say that, but I guess for a neutral, the top 4 races is hotting up, man. I think people are not even speaking about Wolves really and truly in relation to that, people. Because if you look at it from, and Leicester have been a bit dropped off the boil, but they're still 3rd on 50 points. You look at Chelsea, they're on 45. United are on 42. Wolves are on 42. Spurs are 7th on 40. You've got Sheffield on the same. You've got Burnley ahead of us on 38. You've got us and Everton on 37. Obviously, if we win our next game on Saturday against West Ham and results go differently, we can only climb as high as 7th and go a couple behind. So I guess it's the long race. But for the neutrals, it really is heating up, man. I'd say I'm tempted to put a cheeky bet on Wolves, man, because I ain't got it to hand, but they showed great courage coming behind from whatever against Spurs. I think they've got a decent fixture list. Again, games that are won on paper are different, but you look at Wolves' 10 games. Brighton at home, West Ham away, Bournemouth at home, Villa away, Arsenal at home, Sheffield away, Everton at home, Burnley away, Palace at home, Chelsea away. Now, it's not the games ain't as easy as I'm making it sound, but I think they could get a decent. Again, it's not just me, but any team, whether you're Spurs, Chelsea, United, whatever. All this ifs and buts. There's gaffes along the way, and as you lot see, everybody's making the race for 4th, harder than it needs to be. I'm gonna say fifth as well with the things that's been throwing up in air with City stuff, people. United are obviously fifth on 42 points. If I didn't make that specific, so we're 5 points off. So it is. I guess it's good for the neutrals, and we've got a game in hand now. I wouldn't get too excited with that game in hand because I'm pretty sure that's against Manchester City, but it is what it is. And you look at our fixtures, again, games are not won on paper, because if they were won on paper, it still would be difficult for us. We've got to play West Ham on Saturday. We've got to go Brighton away the Saturday after that, which is always a tough one, people. After that, Southampton away. So you've got Brighton and Southampton away, people, where two grounds where I've seen us drop stupid points. And I hate playing St Mary's. You know what happens, man. Mane plays for Liverpool now, but you know what happens when he comes against us. Then we've got to play Norwich at home. And then you're looking at it, people. This is where we need to start taking points. On my birthday, 13th of April, we got to go away to Wolves. So that's a 6-pointer. We've got Leicester at home on the 18th. We've got Spurs on the 26th away from home. 6-pointer. Arsenal versus Liverpool. Liverpool, light, man. You won the league at this point. Just light, man. Last little win there, man. Just let us grab a little 1-0, man. You do our thing. We've got Villa and Watford to end the season. Watford last. Now, people could be confirmed relegation candidates, but like you saw with Watford's reaction in their last game against Liverpool, you can't underestimate no sides. And we're approaching that point in the season where teams that you'd expect to win, if you can say that, you're going to see them do some surprise results because they're staring down the face of relegation. When you're pushed in a corner, do you stand back and fight, or do you curl into a ball? So the top four race does look decent, people. If Arsenal can do it, it remains to be seen, but I think we've turned, I don't want to say we've turned a corner under Arteta, but we've made an improvement, and I'm liking what I'm seeing in terms of the philosophy. But do I believe honestly in my heart that these players can show the togetherness, the game management, the bottle and all of these things? Without Arteta, they can do it themselves and they can complete the task at hand, or if not, give it a good valiant fight with dropping minimal points. I can't honestly say that. If you're asking me to bet my savings on that, I couldn't do it. I don't believe in it. The players need to prove me wrong, but and some of the fans, I don't think we can get top 4 or 5 people. But we've got nothing else. We've obviously going out of the Europa League, so they've got to try, people, really and truly. Side note, what is going on with all these goalkeepers as well in the league, people? Because Alisson never made a mistake against West Ham, but there was one little blip where it could have been heart in mouth. You also saw De Gea's against Everton. Pickford weren't really a mistake, but he could have done better in the game against United, and he has made a couple of howlers. Leno in the Europa League could have done better, and as good as he is in the league, he's still up there for errors committed, and you're always that bit shaky about him. Obviously, Kepa has been dropped by Chelsea as well due to them shenanigans. So what is going on with all the... And I'm sure you've got Fabianski of West Ham as well that let them down against Liverpool, ironically. You've got a couple other examples. What's going on with all these goalkeepers, people? Really and truly, what is going on with all the goalkeepers in the league? Like, De Gea, I don't know what's going on because I ain't got it to hand, but I'm sure him, Leno, the Bradcar, maybe even Pickford, they've got to be the highest offenders for errors leading to goals. And De Gea sounds like blasphemy, but he is a world-class goalkeeper. He's not playing like it, and right now he's clearly not, but I don't know what it is, but, you know, what's going on with him? Does he not want to be there? Again, I'm not trying to speculate, but does he not want to be there? Is he stagnating? Is it a confidence thing? Is it a concentration thing? Because it's happening far too frequently for someone like De Gea. It's not always a glaringly obvious error, but it's always a thing where he could have done better, sort of thing. People. So to round this up as well, people asking me relegation clubs, who would I go for? And obviously I would like the Grealishes. We can't afford that, but I'd like a Grealish. Admittedly, I think Villa and Norwich probably the ones to go down. Maybe Watford, but you never know with this resurgence. I would say if I had to pick, I would love Todd Cantwell. Again, if Norwich get relegated, how much would he cost? Would he cost 30 to 40, maybe 50? I don't know. But and if Liverpool want him as well, there's no contest between the two sides. The only thing that could tip the balance for us in Liverpool, I would sign for Liverpool, stronger side, Champions League, all of these sort of things. But apparently he's fond of Arsenal. Again, if we had to cherry pick, he's more likely to be a more important player at Arsenal than at Liverpool, at least immediately. So there's also that. obviously the challenge of bringing us in. I think he might not be the most glamorous and he might not get the most goals and assists, but I would like to bring Todd Cantwell to the carpet, really. I would love Max Aarons as well. I think he put in a shift in Norwich's last game as well. And I think we really got to be looking at Bellerin again. We cut Bellerin some slack because of his injury, but regardless of the injury, he just doesn't look at it. I want him to get back to it, but there would be 2 players I'd be looking at. And we can't afford Richarlison, because how much is he going to cost? 70 million. And obviously Everton are not getting relegated. I'm disregarding them, but I'm starting to feel, if not Richarlison, we go for someone like that. Someone that can play up front as well as the flank. Someone that's got the ball playing skills, but is also on being a battering ram. Because could you imagine Richarlison in this side? You could play him up front and keep Aubameyang on the flanks, or you could move Aubameyang up there and play, you know, and play thingy, Richarlison on the left or the right, or you could rotate. I mean, if you was to sell Lacazette, for example, and have someone like that, whether it's Richarlison or somebody else, obviously we've got Martinelli and players like that, but I do think if Lacazette goes, we need someone else, another attacker, whether that's another striker, whether that's another winger, or someone that can do both people. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say, really and truly, man. I've got nothing more to add on at that point, so I'm going to keep it moving. People, God bless. DG, I'm out.